This is the Koenigsegg CC850, and in this video, I'm going to review it. Look at the sun visors. They're not doing much, are they?
No, they're not.
Okay.
Oh, you closed it.
I'm Matt Watson, and you're watching Car Wow. I'm here with Christian von Koenigsegg and the wonderful CC850, which I have to say, Christian, is my favourite Koenigsegg.
Oh,
that's what I'm going to put my order in for.
Right, well, let's go.
They're all sold out now, aren't they?
They are. They were sold out like the first few hours.
And it's not surprising, really, because this is an homage, isn't it, this car?
Yeah, I mean, this is very much a celebration of the first ever Koenigsegg. We showcased it at the Paris Motor Show in 2000 and delivered the first car in 2002, the CC8S. It was a Guinness World Record holder for the most powerful production car in the world at the time. It had a detachable stowable roof. It had this super simplistic, naked, Scandinavian-ish, maybe, sports car design. I think from a shape and design statement, it's the most pure thing we ever made. Of course, we dressed it up with more aero over the years and modernized it, but this is really a look back to the original.
I remember, like, when the CC8 appeared, it's like, okay, so some Swedish guys just come along and like built the best hypercar in the world. And your car broke the world record of the McLaren F1 as well.
We did. The follow-on version, the CCR, also managed to outdo the McLaren F1's top speed.
So let's talk through the design then.
The shape of the car was really try to create something timeless. When people see the original CC8S today, some people say, oh, is that your present version? No, that's like 20 years old and designed 25 years ago.
I think one giveaway,
yes,
this.
Yeah,
lights have come a long way.
Sure.
You do these lights yourself, right? They're
we
not
do.
Bought in.
Exactly. It's our own lamp design, our own development.
And you've got an air breather underneath it as well. So where's that channeling air to?
Part of the brake cooling. There's kind of a division, so it's also partially into the HVAC system.
Obviously, this front splitter here is such a nice design. So obviously, it's all carbon fibre.
It's all carbon. Actually, if you look on the side here, you can see, back in the day, we didn't show carbon fibre so much, and we chose to not show it so much either, but it's a complete carbon. So you see everything underneath is beautiful carbon, but the top surface is painted.
Obviously, your Koenigsegg badge there. Surround view cameras, I'm guessing.
Yes.
Didn't have that on the original.
No, we didn't. And it's bird's eye view parking, and of course, parking sensors as well.
We've got this front splitter here. What kind of levels of downforce
It's
are you getting?
quite balanced. We're talking around 400-500 kilos maximum, but the focus is just maximum driving enjoyment and comfort and noise and sounds and things like that.
So it's actually based on the Jesko, isn't it?
The underpinnings are very similar to Jesko, exactly.
But unlike the Jesko, you've got metal wheels, not carbon.
Exactly. Back in the day, we did not have carbon wheels, and this shape is very similar to the original wheel. So if you want carbon for this car, you have to kind of come back after you bought the car and buy it at our Legend division, because it's not part of the configurator.
It's so like swoopy and cool and really nicely integrated. How much time does a car like this spend in the wind tunnel?
We have a big cluster of supercomputers with a very advanced aerodynamic simulation, and then we have this flat airfield that you've experienced. And when it's no wind, we can use that flatness and put strain gauges on the car and do coast downs to correlate to the simulation. So each of our model usually goes once or twice to a real wind tunnel to just verify that the simulation data also correlates there with what was on the track. So we kind of minimize the actual wind tunnel testing.
And how close do you get those?
Very close, within a few percent.
Okay, so it's really accurate, the modelling that you do. In terms of like, everything that you see as a vent is functional. There's no fakery on this.
No, I'm really against anything you put on a car just for the sake of it looking cool. We have none of that on our cars.
Once again, just from this angle, really, really cool design and an homage, yet again, to the CC8S. Really like this design with the wing, just these little bits poking out. Can we make it go up, the wing?
Yeah.
Oh, nice. It's a really nice, smooth action. I like that.
But there's one more thing I love about the rear end of this car, and it's the exhaust. Koenigsegg just can't help but experiment with exhausts, from the flat, high-mounted pipe on the Jesko to the amazing vertical fins on the Regera. However, this CC850 has one of the largest centre exit pipes I've ever seen. But why has Christian pulled out all the stops for this car in particular?
This car we introduced 2022, and that was pretty much on the day 20 years after we delivered the first customer car as a company. I also turned 50. So I said, okay, celebrate 20 years for the car, and I'm turning 50, so let's celebrate that, and I'll build the first car for myself as a present. So it's a CC850. After we uncovered it, we got immediately up to like 100 potential orders, and we only had 50 cars. So we said to ourselves, okay, we'll make a press release immediately, say we'll celebrate 50 for my birthday, 20 for 20 years in production, so we're going to make 70 of them.
Yes. So this car here, it's in white with a white interior. Your car, silver, like the original CC8, which
Yes.
is shown in silver, red interior as well. Yeah. Really, really nice.
Speaking of interiors, let's take a closer look at the CC850's cabin.
Feels very different to the Jesko. It's more luxurious, isn't it?
Yes,
We've
and
got
a bit more old school. I mean, celebrating the old days, analog instrument clusters, real stalks. Feel the weight of these stalks.
Oh yeah.
They're my favorites.
And
oh, it's machined aluminium.
it's not your plastic rubbish here.
No. You cannot find any plastic inside the car or anywhere really. I mean, you have of course rubber strips for weather protection. Otherwise, it's only carbon, metal, or leather, or Alcantara. And a bit of wood on the shifter.
And we'll come to this in a bit, because this is the strangest thing in any car on sale at the moment. But love the dials. Compared to the Jesko, which has the small digital driver's display, which moves with the steering wheel, this is static and it's beautiful.
This is a homage to the first CC8S with this round binnacle sitting on the steering column.
And this, all made in-house. Have all your cars always had this feature? Love this. So the key, right? So you got your key. Where do I put my key?
Oh, you closed it. We'll open again. I'll open it.
So you've got all the buttons to operate it here. Sorry, Christian, I wasn't being rude. So you take the key and then you put it there. See, I shouldn't be allowed nice things. And so you've got a round steering wheel rather than a flat bottom, because it's more of a...
It's more of a traditionalist thing, just a nice sensation as well to just have a round steering wheel, I think.
The leather inside the car comes from Sweden, that's correct?
Yes, it's a custom leather for us. We've been using for now 10, 12 years. It's called Engel, for Ängelholm, which is the town we're in.
I'm really, really conscious that my trainers are on leather.
It takes it really well, and it's easy to buff it up. And after a few years, you can always get a new car.
Yeah, right. I'm also noticing wonderful floor-mounted pedals, which is unique in itself, and there's 3 of them, and just the machining on those pedals. Oh, it's just so... I'm kind of a little bit gushy here, Christian. I do find it a bit bonkers that you're doing your own infotainment system in-house, like programming it and all that kind of stuff. That is a bit nuts. I mean, engine, wheels, seats, you make the seats yourself in-house. Machine bits of metal, the infotainment system, all that, it's all just done here. It's very, very, very unusual.
It's a huge undertaking, and it makes life difficult in a way, but it gives you total freedom at the same time.
I'm going to point out a couple of bits I think you will have bought in. That screen.
The actual screen, yes.
And the chip that runs it and stuff like that. Obviously, you're not going to be making microchips.
The chip, yes, but the circuit board is our design, and all the connections and the,
really?
the firmware, everything, yeah. But we're not the chip producer.
Can you just talk me through the display on here? How do I control it?
We can press here, you can get through a few, so you have a G-force meter.
Can you get the manual G-force meter, the analog one as well, like in the Jesko?
Not on this car, since you have it here, and this will be in the way, because it sits on the dash in front of the steering wheel, so it doesn't really fit.
It's all quite simple, quite clear. This is for your driving mode there, and your gear, and it's also got digital speedometer. I love this though, like this, because most of the time, in reality, this needle shouldn't, if you're on the road, sweep past there.
Right, exactly.
It's just tickling around there, but it can go all the way to 420. Yeah. So one of the things about a car such as this is how practical can a hypercar be? So I noticed that we've got a couple of cup holders here, so that's good.
Yeah.
Though I will point this out, and it's a problem that I have in my 911. If you've got a big bottle there, going for the gear shifter. Yeah. But it's not such an issue like it is in my car, because I have no other option than driving in manual mode. Right. So if I've got my drink now, I'm just going to whack it into auto mode.
Yes, you heard that right. This car has a manual gearbox with an automatic mode. It's very cool, but very complicated. So I'm going to have to ask Christian to explain it properly in a bit. But before that, let's get back to the cabin.
Is there anything under here? Can we get under here?
You can pull it up.
Okay, so
you have a little cab, you have some USB ports.
Okay.
That's for our gate.
So this feature here, so these are wireless phone chargers there, aren't they?
You have an indicator there that goes red if the phone is not correct, yellow when it's charging, green when it's done. So you have a little cubby here, you can flip up this armrest, and you have actually pretty good space in there. But then you have, of course, a reasonable luggage space in the front as the whole roof goes in. And for the CC850, we have a nice set of Skidonia bags that are custom fitted to the front end of the car.
Well, let's check that out then. Christian, I'll let you open the bonnet because I'll probably press the wrong button again. Where did I put my key?
Oh, you closed it. I have a button here.
And I'll just grab the luggage. I bet this luggage costs more than my own car. So
it's pretty roomy actually.
So there will be an order to it. So,
yeah, so this one kind of goes like this. This one goes here. And this one goes here.
And this one, let's see where this one goes.
And there you're all set.
That's enough about practicality. Let's check out the heart of this CC850.
So what are the specs on the engine?
Fundamentally, they're very similar to a Jesko. The turbo boost is a little bit less, and we have a little bit earlier boost due to that. But otherwise, the internals are very, very similar. The transmission is also very, very similar. But the power level is 1385 horsepower.
That's only 85?
Yes, correct.
What's it on normal, like 95?
It's around 1100.
So you've always got well over 1,000 horsepower.
Yes.
And it's a 5 litre.
5 litre twin turbo.
So we're obviously rear wheel drive. We've got to talk about that gearbox now, which is, it's here. It's quite small, big power,
yes,
but small gearbox.
You experience the 1500 Newton meters in the Jesko, and it goes through that little tiny gearbox with 9 gears and shifts extremely fast.
Good traction. Whoa, it's going like crazy. But that's not all. This car doesn't have a flywheel or a traditional friction clutch, nor a torque converter. So how on earth does it all work?
We realized with this concept of gearbox, we did not need a clutch on the engine. So then I said, well, you normally mount the clutch on the engine on the flywheel. So if we don't need a clutch, maybe we don't need a flywheel. That was kind of an experiment, because if we don't have a flywheel, we will have the ability to have a super fast revving engine. This is the first combustion engine in the world that I know of in a car with no flywheel. So no one had ever done it before. And the reason why it turned out working in the end is because we have these hydraulic clutches instead of synchros inside the gearbox that acts as dampers instead of the flywheel mass.
Basically, this means there's no heavy flywheel to limit how quickly the engine can rev up or rev down. In a normal car, not having a flywheel would be a disaster. The power delivery would be rough and unrefined, and it would be a nightmare to control, especially at low speeds. However, the clever hydraulic clutches in the CC850 smooth out everything for you, so the engine can rev like a racing car, but it still feels smooth and easy to drive on the road. But that's not all. All these clutches are connected by a series of electric and hydraulic actuators. This allows the CC850 to drive like a totally normal 9-speed automatic. Or you can even change the gear yourself using the clutch pedal and gear lever. However, then you only have 6 gears. Obviously, your suspension, you have your coilovers going inboard, which is like a Formula 1 car. Is that
again,
correct?
very minimalistic, and this is not this kind of way of connecting the shock absorber to the wheel is not our invention, but it's the most minimalistic inboard damper solution you can have, because you don't have any rockers. So you get direct acting shock absorber and spring from the wheel, but inboard for aero and other reasons. And then we have our super lightweight, wide and long wishbones. The length means we get less track width deviation when bumping, and we're getting our camber gain as we should. So you get a better contact patch and better stability and better power to the ground than you otherwise could, combined with our needle bearings mount inside the wishbones to the chassis. You get the lowest possible friction. To our surprise, when we tried this many years ago, and first on the Agera, it feels like a rubber mounted suspension to a large degree, but it's solid. So you get the control, but you also get the comfort, which is very surprising.
So I'll be trying that in a bit when we go out on the airfield, and I have a jolly good go in the car. You've got adaptive dampers,
Yes, we have created our own active lifting system. Each corner is individually controlled, so we can make the car do anything really, lean or whatever we want to do, but we don't use that much. It's more to change the rake at speed and ride height at speed, and for different modes.
This is super important because changing the ride height of a car massively affects how stable it is at high speed. And this car is capable of some very high speeds indeed, and I'll experience that for myself later. The CC850 also has active shock absorbers, which use 2 computers each to separately adjust the bump and rebound damping thousands of times per second. You could in theory customize these settings yourself, a bit like in a 911 GT3 RS, but Christian explained why this sometimes isn't a good idea.
We could also have like an equalizer menu where you play around if you would like to, but we don't offer that because we want to have this sort of preset good modes. You can screw it up quite easily otherwise.
One last thing, this is a damper, isn't it?
It is a damper as well. That's what we call our triplex suspension, and it's something we came up with when we started going up over 1,000 horsepower. When you launch the car with this much power with rear-wheel drive, it really sits down, and many cars therefore have anti-squat geometry.
This is where the suspension is designed to stop the car's backside from pitching down too much when you accelerate hard. It helps maximise grip in a straight line, but can compromise handling in corners. Koenigsegg doesn't have this. Instead, it uses an extra damper to control how far the car squats when you launch it. This is more precise and it doesn't affect the handling.
So when I was driving the Jesko Absolute the other day, the sensation that you get through the seat of the car like transmitting drive from its engine through its tyres into the ground, you really sense it. Is this damper part of that sensation
Absolutely.
I'm getting?
A lot, yes.
When we were launching it as well for the drag race, it's a rear-wheel drive car with like 1600 horsepower,
yeah.
And the way it takes off,
yes,
it's like odd.
It's a cup tire on that car, this is a 4S, but that you can transfer that kind of power to the ground and get that G-force from standstill, from two-wheel drive, is unbelievable.
At this point, I needed to experience some of these incredible features for myself. But before that, time for a lesson from the master.
So if you look here, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, reverse,
Yep.
and drive.
So that's automatic?
Yeah, so in the manual gate, it stops here unless you press down, and then you go into drive like that. So now we're started in drive.
So that's automatic?
Automatic.
You're not touching the clutch?
No clutch at this moment. This tractability is like a smooth flywheel engine. It's just super easy to
Because the
operate.
clutches are doing
They are smoothing everything out.
There are actually 7 clutches in this car. 1 is used for reverse and the other 6 are attached to their own specific gears. But somehow this car has 9 forward gears, not 6. So how does that work? Well, the mechanical gears are split into 2 groups, a bit like sprockets on a bike. And just like a bike, you can connect any gear in the first group with any gear in the second group. This unlocks combinations that aren't possible in a fixed ratio manual gearbox, or even in a dual clutch automatic. In the CC850, the 2 groups of 3 gears produce 9 different ratios, because 3 multiplied by 3 equals 9. Automatic mode uses all 9 gears, and manual mode lets you access 6. Any more and the H pattern would look like something out of the Fast and Furious movies.
Now this is automatic. Now I will press the clutch and go into manual.
And you had to press the clutch to do that?
Yes.
What happens?
Well, actually you don't have to. I will show you. If I don't press the clutch, I cannot engage the gear.
And this is where things get even crazier. Christian hasn't just made a 9-speed automatic gearbox that drives like a manual, he's made sure these controls feel exactly like the real thing. There are special hydraulic solenoids on the gear lever that control how much force you need to use to push it into gear. And this force changes depending on your engine revs, the gear you're trying to select, and the car's current speed. You also have to push it harder when the car is cold, because that's what a real manual gearbox feels like. And none of this is fake. The hydraulics in the cabin are linked to actuators in the gearbox. This means they're allowing you to feel the genuine vibrations and forces that are already happening behind you. It's a bit like how an electric guitar just amplifies the sound made by real strings. But this can lead to some embarrassing moments.
You can stall the car. I mean, like that.
You just stalled it?
Yeah.
This is nuts!
Now I have match on, so
Yeah.
I will look like a star toe heel guy, which
Yeah.
I'm not. So I'll just show how that works. So now I'm in manual mode. So now I will shift down. So ESP on. You can turn that off, and then you have to do it with your foot as well. So.
It's brilliant!
Yeah, and when you get tired of that, put it in drive.
And that's the thing, you see, you have these kind of cars, at some point you're going to be in traffic and you're going to be thinking, wish it wasn't a manual.
Exactly.
I only know there's a shift because I can hear the engine.
Right.
A very slight dip in torque. But if it feels just like a manual gearbox, does that mean I could accidentally miss a gear and money shift this multi-million-pound hypercar? I had to ask Christian. Is it possible or is it not possible
Not
to money shift?
possible.
It's not possible.
That we took out, because why kill the car unnecessarily?
Okay.
So we have detent stopping me from going into the wrong gear.
So you just can't?
But yeah, if you force through, it will just say, "Eep."
And so
you can't, because it's hydraulic, you can really push through if you want to. It just won't accept that
It
gear.
won't accept it. So even if you smashed it in,
Yeah.
it'll just go no.
Exactly. You can try it if you want.
That's on camera. That's a waiver
That's
there,
okay.
Christian.
Yeah, that's okay.
Brilliant. Listen, thank you for taking me out in it. And now I think
You can have a go.
it's my turn.
But before I drive it, I need to show you a few things about this car that aren't quite perfect.
While the seats are heated, you can't get ventilation for them, which might be a bit of a problem if you're a customer in Dubai. You could end up with sweaty buttocks, though I think these indentations in the leather might help channel some air to your derriere.
Koenigsegg's online configurator isn't open to the public. You actually have to be a viable customer and then they send you a special login. Or you might have to come all the way down to Sweden, come to their studio and do it here, which is an absolute chore, as you can imagine. It really does take the biscuit.
These side aero scoops really gather up stones. Look, we haven't driven very far in this car and already there's plenty of debris in there.
The roof can be a bit of a pain to remove.
So you have these latches here, you have a safety button, you press it. So that part is kind of easy. Then you have a little leather strap here to remove these. So it's a little bit of a process. Actually,
It's like a gun going off behind my ear. Right, do you need my help now?
no, it makes it easier, but I don't actually need your help. I'll show you.
Okay, go on then.
So we'll open the front bonnet first. There we go. And then I'll get out. Let's see, you have to bend over a little bit. And there you go. And then it slides in here.
Ah!
And this is something we came up with the first car. I mean, this was long before these automatically detachable roofs that you see nowadays. Sure, that's down, these down. And
If we hear a crunch now.
we'll see. Just make sure it's fully back.
Oh, it wasn't!
Yeah, it's quite a lot of space here, so should be okay. And then it goes down like that.
And there we go, done.
Koenigsegg has limited the colour choice on this car to just 8 options. More choice is surely more good. Anyway, it's not all bad because that brings me on to 5 cool things about this car.
The paint finish on Koenigsegg's is incredible, so you will not find any orange peel. Reason being, once the car's been painted, they wet sand it and polish it every individual car. So if you just move about and like look at the light, it just moves completely smoothly, no wobbly effects at all. Also, the carbon fibre doesn't have a lacquer coating to it. It comes straight off the tool and then they just sand it and polish it. Luxury.
Koenigsegg's doors not only look cool the way they open, but they open in such a way that even if a car parks quite tightly to you, look, there's still room for someone to get out. Don't worry, it won't hit the car if they're too close. It has sensors in the door to prevent that from happening.
When you buy a Koenigsegg, you get one of these. What is it? Well, it's sort of like their version of a Fabergé egg. You open it up and inside is your car's key. Otherwise, you're just going to store your key in a drawer somewhere. But no, with this, you can have it presented on your mantelpiece. Oh, it's so lovely and satisfying the way it all fits and works and moves.
The car has the most extravagant fuel filler cap on any vehicle. To get to it, you have to do this. To raise the engine cover because it's located there. You can just slot the fuel nozzle straight in, but what you're going to do at the garage is then like walk around and just admire your engine, and other people might start admiring it as well. Certainly a talking point.
There are a lot of little Easter eggs which relate to the Ghost Squadron, which was the #1 squadron for the Swedish Air Force, which used to be based at where Koenigsegg's factory is. And there's one in here on the gear shifter mechanism. The show must go on, but there's loads throughout the car. How cool is that?
I think we've waited long enough. Let's drive this thing. I'm here with Marcus. So Marcus, you are the test driver for Koenigsegg.
Correct.
You need to be here for insurance.
Yeah, exactly.
And I don't want to
reason.
drive this car uninsured because it's very expensive.
It's kind of expensive.
Let's start it then. So,
Yeah.
do I have to put my foot on the clutch to start it?
Yeah, foot on the clutch and foot on the brake as well. And then you just press the ignition button. Yeah, it's ignition first. Yep. And now you're good to go.
Here we go. Let's fire it up. Oh,
So
I've done the
just-
thing.
Yeah, exactly. Just one press.
Beginner's error. So you just dab it. You don't press and hold, do you?
Exactly. Just press it. Perfect. Got it.
So I'm going to go in automatic to begin with. So
Sure.
across, hop,
No,
push
exactly.
down.
Yeah, press down.
Can I just release the clutch now?
Yeah, you can release the clutch and then you can rely on the brake only.
That feels weird now,
It
just
does.
releasing
In
the
the beginning it
clutch.
feels weird, but you will get used to it.
It's funny how smooth it is when there's no flywheel or no like torque converter. Dual clutches, sometimes when you pull away a little bit,
Right,
yeah, so it's really quite smooth, isn't it, and easy.
Yeah,
Does this have a nose lift?
it does. So you can see on your steering
yeah.
wheel. Yeah,
Is that standard or extra?
it's standard. On all Koenigseggs you have a lift mode. And also, like if you go on a road like this where you have quite like a bumpy surface, you can also change your driving mode here.
Yeah, put it into comfort.
Yeah. So we will that will raise the car a bit more and soften up the dampening, so it's even more comfortable.
You haven't got air suspension, it's hydraulic, isn't it?
Correct.
It's quite easy to drive, really.
Yeah, it's very easy to drive.
Like for this situation, I don't want to actually be in manual mode. For this kind of manoeuvre, it's no fun to be had in manual mode necessarily.
No.
Sometimes it is nice to just change gears. In fact, you know what? Let's try it.
Yeah.
Can I do it for the first
Whenever
time?
you
So
want.
what do I do? I'll get onto the clutch.
Yeah, clutch in a second gear maybe is a good one. Yeah.
That feels weird.
Yeah.
Going from automatic to shift manual, and like you won't come out of gear. I've got to dip the clutch. I've got to actually do it. So that's all done by computer, and then it clutch operates. Then when you get them,
Yeah. So we look at the RPM of the gearbox and engine.
and it senses the pressure.
Yeah, basically.
Have I got rev match on or not?
You have very much on, so you can try the downshift if you want.
Yeah. Can you turn it off?
Yes, we can.
I'll let you do it.
Yeah, that's off.
It just adds so much to the car, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It's hard to tell out here on your smooth Swedish roads.
Yeah. The comfort, you mean?
The comfort, yeah.
Yeah.
Every British journalist likes to check out the right comfort because our roads are just terrible.
Yeah.
But from what I can see where I've driven so far, it does seem to be very compliant.
That's very important for us in this car because it's a bit more GT focused than the Esco, so it needs to be slightly more comfortable.
But even the Esco felt comfortable. That's
Yeah.
because you've got such a rigid chassis, haven't you?
Yeah, and the Absolute is also kind of a less aggressive car than the Attack. The Attack is our real like track weapon, which is a bit stiffer.
I don't find the pedal placement too easy to heel and toe for me.
You can adjust the brake pedal so you can get it closer to you. There is an adjustment.
Oh, so that's not a problem then, is it?
No.
So I definitely want it. It's more toe and toe at the moment
Right.
rather than heel and toe. I haven't done this yet, so I'm going to come in the clutch, down into drive.
Perfect.
Okay, now I'm going to come out of it.
Yeah.
I did well there.
Yeah.
This car, it's made for me.
Yeah.
The exhaust sounds good. It's quite loud, isn't it?
Yep, we have a small tweak coming in where we're going to close the exhaust throttles a bit higher up in the rev band.
Oh, right.
So it's going to be a bit quieter.
When you're just cruising.
Yeah, exactly.
There's some bumps. I found one bump, very small pothole on your Swedish roads.
It's quite interesting because people around here think these roads are bad actually.
What this?
Yes.
This is our finest
Really?
road. This has just been serviced in the UK.
Look at this, it's bad.
No, that's
That
just
is
been
bad.
done.
Yeah, okay. Wow.
Oxfordshire County Council, if there's anyone watching, you're rubbish. There we go. Wow. That's good.
And that was sport mode. So.
That was really good.
Yeah.
But let's put all the pothole chat to one side and find out what this car is like when you really, really push it.
So, I want to launch it. What do I do?
Put on a clutch.
Yeah.
You can just try to rev it. It will keep you. You see? So that's
Okay.
basically your launch control.
Can I dump the clutch?
It's quite rough. It will probably stall. So
Okay,
yeah.
Okay, that's good then, because that's like kind
Yeah.
of realistic.
Yeah, but I think you will. The best
Feather it a
thing is-
little bit.
Feather it, yeah.
Here we go then.
Yeah. Try again.
Oh! Oh, it's good! Oh! That's good, like, because it's smooth and seamless.
Right. And predictable.
When you're smashing it,
Yeah.
you're less likely to cock it up.
The rev matching on or off because it turns on when you cycle the ignition, so I can turn it off if you want.
Yeah, let's turn it off.
Yep.
Do you know what I like? I can put pressure on the gear lever, so like preload it for the change,
Exactly.
and it doesn't slot out.
You're just like me. I've been asking for it a lot, so you can have pressure and then.
Yeah. You're just going to drive it manual the whole time. Do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to money shift it.
Okay,
You
try.
ready?
You can try.
I'm going to go from fourth into second at high RPM. I'm
can't.
No?
Woo! It's really funny, it lets you stall,
Yeah.
but it doesn't let you do something that's catastrophic.
Exactly.
If I launch it in automatic, is it...
So the launch control, we cannot activate it right now because we don't have any paddle shifters in this car.
Okay.
We will add it later.
So there's not...
And we will also develop a launch control for drive without paddle shifter since it's an option. But we don't have it in this car right now.
When it's ready, Koenigsegg's launch control will be totally unique. Because the car has 9 gears, it can automatically decide which ratios to use to give it the best possible launch. For example, it can start in 2nd gear to reduce wheel slip, and it can choose to skip 3rd gear completely if going straight into 4th keeps the engine in the power band for longer. But that's not all. Eventually, you'll be able to customise the ratios yourself. It'll be like having your own Formula 1 team switching the mechanical gears inside a Formula 1 car's gearbox to maximise its top speed on different racetracks. But because all of this is done through the car's software, you won't have to get your hands dirty or employ a massive team of engineers.
Let's launch it anyway in auto. So
Try
can I brake boost it or not? What do
A
I do?
little bit, I think, yeah.
Okay. I was better. That feels madder. That's faster.
It's way faster.
Gear shifts on auto.
Yeah, it's letting yes go now. So we have like 2 cars in one.
3 because it's convertible.
Yeah,
No, you
as
multiply
well.
it, so it's 4 cars in one.
Yeah, basically, yeah. Easy.
That's quite different, isn't it, when
Yeah.
you do it like that?
Yeah.
Let me just back to back. I need to double check.
Yeah,
I
go
can't
for
be
it.
sure.
Go
So
for it.
I'm now in manual again. That just feels old school. Yeah, it feels like a different car.
Yeah.
Right, let's do one more launch in auto.
Yeah, go for it, go for it.
So the gear changes now. Now I want to do some kind of like the grip and stuff. This now I want paddles.
Right, yeah,
I want
exactly.
both hands on the steering wheel,
Yeah.
but I want to control the gears myself.
Yeah.
Because now I'm not in the right gear because it's an auto. Grips really well, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, it made me feel a bit sick.
And everyone knows what's good for an upset stomach: donuts.
So then, what's my final verdict on the CC850? Should you avoid it? Should you consider it? Should you shortlist it? Or should you just go right ahead and buy it? I think you know the answer, don't you?